Oppa Gundam style, everybody. Welcome to Wow Cool Robot, a podcast about Gundam anime. I'm Max, I use he, him pronouns, and with me today is...
My name is Phoenix, I use they, them pronouns.
And first of all, sorry about my voice. It's a situation. It's not COVID. I don't think it's the flu either, because my wife isn't sick at all. It's probably just like a bacterial infection, but I'm on the tail end of it. I'm doing A-okay, except for the fact that I can't talk, and for the last 3 days, I could only whisper. But you know, c'est la vie. More importantly, we're here because Gundam did a thing. There's new Gundam show, the new hotness. Everyone's been really, really excited for it because we haven't had a new Gundam show. Well, okay, we've had new Gundam shows recently, right? But like, I feel like the build shows exist in almost a separate sphere from like the Gundam shows, if that makes sense. Like,
it does. Like
Iron Blood Orphans was what, 2015, and
2015,
then
it was
yeah,
2017.
right, and then like we got the Build Divers shows, but again, those are certainly Gundam shows, but those are not shows where humans enter Gundam-sized mechs. Those are shows about Gunpla, which is like different enough that the Witch from Mercury, which is the name of the show, I don't know if I even said it yet, coming out is like, damn, oh wow, cool stuff, new stuff. It's really exciting. I watched the episode like 3 times today. I'm so in already. It rules. But before we get into it, Phoenix, you know how this goes. This is when we talk to our new co-hosts about their history with Gundam. So take it away, if you will.
Okay, hello. My name is Phoenix, and I am actually something of a Gundam noob. I've really only ever been watching Gundam since I'd say about since last year. I was just in like a really, really big funk, and for like pretty much all of 2020, like you all probably know how that story goes by now. But then I was just going through YouTube, and I was going through YouTube, and I was just seeing like, oh, hey, Drawthy updated. So they have this episode. Wait a minute, like drawing Gundam characters based on their names. And it's like, wait, like I have never actually really seen somebody talking about the Gundam characters except maybe peripherally, like saying like, oh yeah, Lelouch v Britannia is based on Char, and like and like Suzaka is like Amuro, and then like that would pretty much be my exposure to it. I did actually, before this in like 2018, 2019, I did actually buy a Gunpla.
Nice.
Just the regular plain old grandpa, only it really wasn't Wow Cool Robot, it was Wow Important Robot for reasons. So I watched
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that episode, and then it's like, oh my god, this is so funny. Like Chibbity Crockett, and like I ended up just like, I have to know more about like Chibbity Crockett, like that's a name. I have to know more about this. So then I just went on Twitter and I just entered in Gundam, and I hadn't even seen the show yet until I hadn't even watched Gundam yet. And it's like, okay, just from seeing how everybody is talking about stuff on here, I have to go check this out. And so I'd say like spring of 2021, I went and I checked it out. So yeah, that's how I kind of got here. I'm pretty new.
Hell yeah. I mean, I didn't really start voraciously consuming Gundam until spring of 2020, so you're really not that far behind. What's your favorite series?
I feel like because I am a theater kid at heart, as I've said, like I've kind of said that I like Code Geass. So like
Uh-huh.
I kind of feel like I am legally obligated to say that Wing is my favorite.
It's the melodrama of it all.
It's like if you locked a bunch of theater kids into a room and and told them that they cannot leave until they make a mecha anime, they would come out making Code Geass, and if you specified make a Gundam anime, they would make Gundam Wing.
Uh-huh. And Witch from Mercury, I'm probably just gonna end up calling it G-Witch to save on syllables. There's a pretty good amount of melodrama out the gate already. It makes a good impression.
My kind of party.
Yeah. So let's say we get into it. Dear listener, we're only doing 2 episodes a week of this. I've explained this last week on the podcast, I think. To keep up with like a regular release schedule, but also so there's not like 3 weeks in between G-Witch episodes. But hey, if you do want to like discuss the episodes as they happen, there's a channel in the Wow Cool Robot Discord server that you can find by going to twitter.com/WowCoolPodcast or looking in the description of every episode. You can join, and you can join our Spoilers from Mercury channel where we talk about everything live, or not live, but as it happens. So you don't have to wait 2 weeks for the podcast to talk about it. But before all that, we have a prologue episode to discuss, don't we?
We do. And also before anything else, yes, we do. It released, I'd say, back in like August on the Gundam Info YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wasn't really sure if we were going to cover it, but anyway, let's get started.
Let's hit it.
The year is Ad Stella 110-ish. A woman in the cockpit of a mobile suit tries to access its deeper AI layers. That woman is named Elnora Samaya, and that mobile suit is Gundam Lifra. At the heart of the Gundam is something called the Gund system, an interface that allows humans to perfectly merge with prosthetic technology. Not only is the Gund format a promising next step for humanity's existence in space, but it is also being developed as a military technology, a technology that Cathedra, a newly formed mobile suit development bureau, wants to eliminate. Cathedra announces that all Gundam development will be halted and sends out a hit squad to kill everyone on the research asteroid the Gundam is being developed on. Eri, Elnora's daughter, gets put in the cockpit of the Lifrit by Dr. Cardo Nabo, the head of research on the asteroid, and is able to link up with the Lifrit and delve deeper into its AI layer than anyone else can. When the Cathedra hit squad arrives, Eri's father, Nadim, pilots one of the test-type Gundams in an effort to see his wife and daughter escape to safety. He dies in the conflict while singing happy birthday to Eri, who has just turned 4 as she and her mother escape to safety.
Worst birthday party ever.
Yeah, I think birthday parties in Gundam are kind of cursed.
Yeah, you really don't want to have anything to celebrate in a world where like a nuclear death robot can show up at any minute. But this is a very cool kind of. I included the prologue in the series run just because like it gives good lore to the world. It's set. I say Ad Stella 110-ish because the rain show takes place in 122. I'd guess Eri's about 16, so if she's just turning 4, it'd be around 110 the year. Eri, sorry, she's Suletta now. But it starts, it's very interesting, right? Because it's just black. We don't see anything. We just hear like heavy breathing, and we get just a ton of techno babble. Permit link, connection test, interconnect, layer 31, layer 32, layer 33, gun to format. It throws so much at you right out the gate. Just figure it out.
Yeah, but I think that it's just like cyberpunk-ish.
A little, yeah. It's like it certainly fits with the world. And again, if we're comparing this to the last released like main Gundam series, it's a lot more high tech than Iron Blooded Orphans was. and emphasized by the fact that what Elnora, the pilot here, is essentially doing is like interfacing with the AI inside the suit, trying to like get deeper into it to like draw out more performance from it. But she's cool.
I've been surprised. I'm actually a bit surprised that it took them this long to get one with like an actual like AI in it, rather than like some vague computer full of ghosts. I'm very surprised that it took this long.
I mean, the only one that really comes to mind is the Zero system from Wing. Like that was an AI in the suit,
but that's just a floppy disk full of what. That's just
right, yeah. Our imagination in the 90s wasn't as advanced as this, where it's like, all the circuitry's on your face now.
Yeah. I mean, I still do think it does have charm. It's like, wow, they thought they that
64 kilobytes to see in the future.
And yes, it's like, and yes, I actually do know what a floppy disk is. Thank you very much.
So Elnora, she's in this Gundam. We see Dr. Cardo Nabo. She's like the head scientist here.
I love Cyberpunk Grandma.
She rules. She tells Elnora, hey, cool it down, because Elnora is like really pushing, trying to link up with Lafrith. But she basically warns Elnora, like, hey, if you push too hard, you're gonna die. Because the whole thing here is the Gund format, capital Gund. We don't know what it stands for, if it stands for anything. But basically, it's like prosthetics that allow... it allows humans with this Gund of prosthetics to essentially like link up with the mobile suit to be able to control it. Again, really similar to like the Alaya Vinyana from Iron-Blooded Orphans. But I think the fact that this is like a medical technology before a military technology is what interests me so much about it.
For the I was actually going to say some more stuff like just like cyber new types, bunch of guys from another show we haven't watched yet, but like that was actually the one that I was thinking about, because I haven't really finished. I kind of didn't like Iron-Blooded Orphans. I stopped paying attention after a while.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, again, what it really boils down to is people with the Gund format can control a suit better than people without it, which we certainly see that throughout the show. But pretty soon we're introduced to Eri. Eric Samaya is her full name. She comes floating in with like this giant oversized bunny backpack. I love her. She rules.
Baby.
She's just a baby. It's her birthday. She's 4 years old.
I know, it's just like so cute. I might have to call my dentist after this. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting a cavity. It's just too sweet.
And what's so cute about this too is she views Lafrith as her younger sister, because like Elnora talks about how Lafrith is part of the family too, because how much she has to work on it.
It's like family. It's like Fast and the Furious. They're all family.
Exactly. The Charger is Dom's child or brother.
Little baby. Oh, like the Charger's little car. It would be like one of those little Barbie Jeeps.
Yeah, exactly. It's so cute. And we cut from that. We see it's like this meeting with or I'm sorry, I think it's just like exposition. Mm-hmm. But we learned that this Gundam was being developed by the Ox Earth Institute, and they got taken over by some company called Vanadis. And that company basically made Ox started using this Gundam format, not for medical science, but for military science. And because of that, the Gund format started like killing its users due to overexertion.
I wonder why it's doing that.
Yeah, it makes sense at a glance. You think about, sure, if it's like drawing power from the human and all the prosthetics are inside their body, but we really don't know more of what happens aside from like the circuitry gets too much and you kind of just burn out, like we see at the end of the episode. But yeah, I'm really interested to see like what happens when you overdo your Gund format. Like if you go to permit level 4, it just like squeezes the life out of you or something like that.
Yeah. I think it might not like it. Like,
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think the AI likes it.
No. Or like it can't use the human properly. I don't know. But we do see another really interesting thing here in this little exposition dump because we see like a news broadcast and there's this like screen, this like little like diagram on the screen talking about what issues Earthians and Spacians
Oh,
care about most.
if we're talking about like that news report, I think we are legally obligated to bring if we are talking about the news report in
Hmm.
this episode, I think we are legally obligated to bring up the Gundam took my child's lifetime.
It is. I understand the context it's being shown in. I laughed out loud the first time I saw that.
Yeah, I wonder if this means anything.
I'm the child. Gundam took my life. Gundam took over my
Yeah,
life.
I mean, it
Uh,
didn't really take my life. It just took my bank account information.
yeah, pretty honestly, I'm staring at my gigantic wall of Gunpla. It's so
Yeah,
funny. It's so funny. Let's see.
the issues.
The issues, yeah. So it's not Earthnoids and Spacenoids, right? It's Earthians and Spacians, and they kind of.
I think they're trying to avoid the Noid.
They-
It's like I get it, I get it. It's something different, but Earthians and Spacians, it's like I get they're trying to do something different, but it just doesn't have the ring to it that Earthnoid based on.
Right. A rose by any other name, etc., etc. Like, it's the same exact thing. The only difference is that the dichotomy is flipped. It is now the oppressed Earthians and the wealthy and elite Spacians, which I'm interested to see if that goes any further than Gundam saying, hey, look, it's the opposite now. Like, if they actually have something to say about it.
Like I get that like they seem to be a lot more successful than what would probably happen if all of our rich people went to space.
Yeah, this is really an idealized view of
Yeah,
what would happen.
it's I do like we have so far we have like guy who only went up for like 3 minutes and then like the other guy who is basically Spencer from iCarly, like everything he touches catches on fire.
Right.
Yeah, I do
He
not trust.
truly. Oh, absolutely not.
No,
If
you.
I was in Gundam Ariel and I saw them floating in a normal suit in space, I would simply mind my own business.
Yeah.
So after that broadcast, Aerie goes home with her mom, and we see her dad, Nadim. They're in the apartment. They're just Nadim and Elnor are just kind of chatting about the problems they're experiencing, trying to get deeper into Lefrith's layers. We cut we see their family life. It's nice. Aerie's having her party. She has her cake and everything. She
You.
helped decorate.
Yeah, like strawberry cake. That is actually like sort of like the strawberries and the little whipped cream things. That is actually a very typical birthday cake for somebody in Japan to have. It's kind of like the yellow cake and chocolate frosting over there.
Right. Yeah. I could go for a slice of that right now. But yummy. Uh so we cut to this council scene. This is kind of like the Mobile Suit Development Council. We see some characters that show up in the second or in like the first actual episode of the show. But the main character here is this guy named Delling Rembrandt, who is just clearly the most evil person in this show so far.
I think he's a try hard. Like, okay, you have three little points on your eyebrows. Like,
Right.
I get it. I get it. Like,
Yeah, you have
you
an evil goatee.
hate him.
Uh, and he immediately evokes the kind of imagery that the witch from Mercury is going for. We're talking about we must wield the hammer of witches. Talking about how like they need to basically stop the Gundams from being developed because it would help bring the Earthnoids. I'm sorry, the Earthians. Freudian slip. It would bring the Earthians too much prosperity. Basically, like it's a purely business and status decision to keep the Gundams from being developed, not the reason he publicly gives. But again, a lot of this is kind of evoking like witch hunt imagery almost, which
Yeah,
is
like
another interesting angle.
I actually am a bit familiar with the history of that, and like the actual book, The Hammer of the Witches, it's like, oh my god, this guy, like this dude who wrote this book, he's like he is basically he is like an incel centuries before incels were
Damn, a
invented.
real trailblazer.
Like, yeah. His name is actually it actually was written by this guy named like something German Kramer. And I think that this imagery it also got invoked a bit from like I think they might have been trying to do something with like this whole Kramer and a bunch of witches imagery in Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, I can see that absolutely. Again, Final Fantasy VIII, another game set at a school. It
Yeah.
really all wraps around. Interesting.
Everything I like is all coming together.
It's all witches. It's all witches in
Yeah.
schools.
Yeah, like Little Witch Academia, like
Yeah.
every single thing I like in one show. It's like, thank you for the belated birthday present, Mr. Hajime Yatate. Thank you.
It's all for you. But Nadim gets this call from headquarters as they're all chilling in the apartment. Before that, actually, Elnora's arm like powers down, and she like takes it off and like puts a new battery in it. We see that it's like a fully prosthetic arm, and she basically says the reason she's here is because Dr. Cardo like saved her life, and she wouldn't, yeah, it's nice, like, which is why Eri calls her grandma basically, like, because she basically is, she saved Elnora's life and she's doing all this research, so that's why Elnora is kind of like indebted to her helping continue the research that saved her life, which is a cool angle.
He turned her into like that cool cyborg that lives in space.
So then Nadim gets this call from headquarters, telling him that like the council is going ahead before the planned time, essentially, basically saying like, hey, they're gonna start shutting this shit down. We gotta go. And as he gets this call, we see like a transport ship begin docking on this asteroid that the area and her family's on. Asteroid's called Folkvanger, which is some kind of like Norse name that I don't know what it means.
I don't know. I'm only like 3 of the little rows of the bubbles into Swedish on Duolingo.
The owl cannot help us here.
Yeah, when y'all were doing Operation Meteor, I think I actually came up with something a bit more successful. Whenever Duo would show up, it's like, okay, time to go do the owl. The owl.
Well, you were watching anime, I was studying Swedish. I was studying the blade.
Yeah.
But Eri leaves her party, and she goes to see Lafrith, and hey, Cardo is here.
Wait,
she's in the cockpit chilling.
Like, I think Eri got very upset that her dad had to go and make that important business call during her birthday. So she's like, she's 4. She doesn't really understand stuff like business yet. So
and she's like,
goes off to go and see Lifrith, and she's like yelling at it and trying to get her little sis to wake up.
Yeah, she's like, she's all mad. She's like, everyone always cares about you, not me. And this is when Cardo pops out of the cockpit, and she's like, hey, do you want to talk to your little sister? And Cardo takes her in, and like Eri's handprint gets scanned, so she's like a registered user of Lafrith now. And basically Eri just starts talking to Lafrith, as if it's a person. But the point is, like, the AI is getting data from Eri as this is happening that like comes into play later in a really cool way. We haven't really talked about what Lafrith looks like. It is very pretty. It's this beautiful, it's almost all white, or this very light gray with like really nice, like bright pink accents and cool, like green teal lights on it.
Yeah, and it's like everything I ever wanted.
It is a gorgeous suit. Like, already the design aesthetic of this show is delightful. I love it. It's so cool.
I love it. Even though, like, totally not Treyas, he has no drip.
No, absolutely. Yeah, like the outfits of the show too. We see a lot more of different outfits later on, but yeah, like the business clothes are just like eh, plain. They're
Like,
like futuristic business clothes. They're what you'd
like
expect.
maybe it's like let's all go and yell at that Tumblr flanderization of Beau Brummel a bit. Like, let's go
Hmm.
fight him. It's always a good day to beat up Tumblr version of Beau Brummel.
Right, yeah. But where the human fashion is just fine, the mobile suit is are just like, oh, very, very cool. But,
Wow.
you know, she's inside it. And Cardo leaves because she gets a call from her team, the same kind of call that Nadim got earlier, that the press conference is starting. Uh, so the committee begins this conference, and they basically announce, hey, Ox is getting forced out. We need to shut down all Gundam operations. And this is when Cardo freaks out and says, hey, don't let any ships dock here. But it's too late. The
There's
ship
already
docked. Yeah, they've been infiltrated, and like people are just start getting gunned down left and right in this damn asteroid.
yeah, it's like there was like that Wendy and that there was like one named Wendy and that other girl, and like I think that Wendy had like this really cool design with like this blonde ponytail with like little pink at the tips. Like she looked really cool, and it's like, huh, maybe the lesbians came into the show a lot earlier than we thought.
Yeah, that's the thing, because like Aries family is just like a man woman couple, and then we see like the next couple we see is like lesbian mechanics. It's very cool. I really like that this show is like very clearly trying to make it not just heteronormative all the time.
It's like, wow, like I guess it's like maybe anime will start being not a mistake.
Damn, progressive. I'm holding my breath. Unfortunately, one of them does get shot in the damn head.
Uh,
Uh,
the Gundam show, though, it's like it comes with the territory, and it's
right, yeah.
like I have to say, like I think, oh, like shoot me if you think that this is like bad opinion, but like I kind of think that bury your gaze is kind of like overplayed. It's like, come on, like then like you're basically just taking like I know it's like a thing where like LGBT characters will show up, but like by the end they will have to like die. But it's like nowadays we're getting like so many different varieties of like people. Like you have like your fluffy stuff, you have like your more serious, messy stuff, and it's like, come on, like I think that like unless it's like explicitly maliciously done, we're basically just shooting ourselves in the foot and cutting off ourselves from like the great variety of like LGBT of like queer stories that you can tell. Like I saw people complaining about like Bohemian Rhapsody because Freddie Mercury died. Like people die in real life.
Right.
In
That's
real,
just a thing that happens.
yeah, it's like part of life.
So I think Cathedra, this organization, they send out their mobile suits. So we see Wendy gets in one of the like test type Lafriths, and Nadim gets in the other. It's like they're the same design as Lafrith. They're kind of more rounded. They don't have the antenna, and they're like this very
Other,
dark blue gray.
I'd say they're more like just like blue and gray in general, and they don't have like the pink.
Right, yeah. Like it has like this kind of like yellow venting on the front, but it's like a really dark yellow. It has
Well,
the same face shape, but yeah, it's just much more drab. The big difference is that it has these two like tanks on the back that are full of these really cool like bomb funnels that I quite like.
I guess they're cutting. Oh no, I guess they're cutting like Gundam development. So I guess like no more Gundams. Like
No more Gundams. I mean, Ariel's not called Gundam Ariel; it's just called Ariel. So
yeah,
you gotta keep it
maybe
secret.
like maybe we're doing like the wrong show, and we should just like go and like start again.
No more Gundams. Uh, but we get some pretty badass fight scenes. We see like Nadim use I'm calling them like bomb funnels, where basically they fly off and they like slap onto the mobile suits like mines and explode.
Can I just for a second
Huh.
go about can I just like gush about the sound design in the
Oh
show?
yeah, it is crunchy. It's great.
It's amazing. It's like I haven't really been watching like a lot of recent science fiction, but it's like, oh my God, this stuff sounds so good. It's like, pew! It's not just like, it's like, wow, wow,
Yeah, no, it's it's like it's what's really hard to explain. I mean, obviously, if you're listening to the show, you probably would have watched the episode, but like the sound director for this show is doing a really good job right out the gate. It's very promising so far.
yes.
Um, and we see a new mobile suit. Some mobile suits get deployed. I don't even know if we know the names of these things. They don't really matter. They
Yeah,
look like enemy
they're like
suits.
they look kind of like chunkier, rounder gems, and they're like yellow, and they have like purple faces.
Yeah, the main thing that's really cool is the Begir Bu, which is this really, it looks like a praying mantis almost. It's white and lavender with these really deep, like, translucent purple accents on like the head and the
But
shoulders and
white
the
and it's white
hips.
and it's white and it's blue. It's like blue cheese.
Yeah, it has these really cool like swords that pops out of the hands, and the main show here is these two. It has two big balls, uh, but they're used to
Well,
like shut down the Gund format. But this thing is really cool. It's a little Cublay adjacent.
I and I like gush for another thing. It's like
Uh-huh.
I know that like bits and funnels are cool, but I have to say that sometimes I really, really like ones that are on wires. It's like
Oh yeah, wire weapons are
also
sick.
like you very rarely see it. I know that the writer for this show, let me check. Ichiro Okuchi, the guy who wrote this, he also did Code Geass, and I know that the mechs in that show they had like those little Spider-Man wires they would sometimes like whip at each other.
Uh-huh.
And there is the Gurren, and like that one, like I really
Yeah.
love their Gurren. It has like that hand that like
Yeah, like the like shoots off.
yeah, it's basically like if you took the shining finger and you put it on one of those little sticky hand, those little
That's exactly what I was thinking
hands
about. Yeah,
from
absolutely.
the gotcha machines at the grocery store, and you can just like chew and send it out, it and yeah, I just love that robot.
It's cool. The Big Ear Bu is another really great cool suit. I like the wire. The like the balls are not weapons. They're used specifically just to shut down Gund format.
Yeah,
Which is what they do. Like when they like they both like hover near a suit and like emanate this shockwave that like just completely shuts the suit down. Um, and it's around this point that Elnora inside the asteroid that's like on fire, ready to blow up. She goes to Lafrith and she finds Aerie there, and she notices that like Aerie's been signed into Lafrith, and somehow Aerie's been able to get past like AI layer 33, which is what she was struggling with. So she kind of has to like look on in horror as her daughter is essentially like become cursed by this Gundam she's linked to now. Really kind of harrowing stuff almost.
yeah, it's like they just keep getting younger and younger. Like
She's 4 years old and she has a body count because she flies out of the asteroid and she's just like tapping the touchscreen, like, oh, look at the pretty lights.
it's like
And
it's like she's
oh,
playing, it's like she's watching like Coco Melon or like
exactly, yeah. She's like watching baby sensory videos.
yeah, it's or like she's playing that game that cats play.
Yeah, she's playing, yeah, she's just tapping. And
Pink Fruit
she,
Ninja.
oh, and Lafrith is just like trashing these suits.
And
We
it's
see
just like pew pew
pew
pew
pew pew.
pew pew. Shield bits, shield bits, shield bits.
I love these things. The bit staves rule. This is like the main feature of the Gundams, I guess.
So it's like hell yeah. Like
It's
sign me up, like funnels, bits. Give them to me.
yes.
Like I love you.
Like, and you can even tell by looking at the art of the Lafrith. If you look at the shield, it's segmented in a way that I think like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think like 8 or 9 pieces fly. Like the shield breaks apart into 8 or 9 pieces, and like each one can individually fly around and like shoot beams. or like act as an eye field. It is it's so sick. I love it. It's so cool.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Uh,
Oh,
it like it destroys the other mobile suits and attacks the big ear Bu. The big ear Bu, it uses the ball attack to disable the gun format so they can't control it. And this is when Nadim flies in his, I think it's a mass production Lefrith, not the test type. But regardless, we don't see him anymore because Nadim grabs him and like flies away, and he activates Permet Score 4, which is like the AI kind of takes over more, and like the circuitry appears on his face more.
Is like glowing red. It's like flames.
It's like hyperventilating.
Like, out of the side of his face. And then as he attacks the blue cheeseburger, like he gets into contact over the comm channel.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad.
Happy birthday.
The episode ends as he's saying happy birthday to Eri. Eri doesn't understand what's going on. She's singing along with him, but all he's doing is like flying as fast as he can, trying to push the big ear Bu away so Elnora and Eri can get to safety. And like, he doesn't explode. He just dies.
And
just burns out.
I think even like the people over at Cathedra, like they can hear this and like they're probably like flipping the fuck out.
Yeah, they're like, what is happening right now? That's weird.
Happy birthday to you for 102. You look like a monkey and you smell like one too.
I haven't heard that in many years. But like after making that Permet score go high, we see the circuitry pattern that's on Nadim's face. It's like on the Lefrith too, but like it's just kind of like gray now. It's like a husk almost. It's just like burned out. Like the big Yirbu just like shoves it to the side. But at this point, Elnor and Eri are gone. They've flown away. Like they're gone. They're safe. But the asteroid explodes, and I get like the only one to like successfully escape this is Elnor and Eri. And that's where the prologue kind of ends.
Okay, so yeah,
pretty harrowing stuff.
Yeah, pretty harrowing stuff. Like I still go and think about like the happy birthday.
Yeah, it's rough, but thankfully the actual episode 1 of the show, the tone's a little bit different.
Ding!
So, this is Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury, Episode 1, The Witch and the Bride. The year is Ad Stella 122. Suletta Mercury arrives at the Astacasia School of Technology but sees a body floating in space. She comes to their rescue and finds Miorine Rembrandt, who just tried to escape the school, foiled by Suletta. Suletta learns that Miorine is the daughter of Delling Rembrandt, head of Cathedra and all-around asshole, who only cares about the top-performing businesses in his Benneret group. The girls then witness a duel between mobile suits, the winner being Gwell Jaturk, heir to the Jaturk Group, one of the Benneret Group's top businesses. Gwell is Miorine's fiancé and tries to force her to live in the Jaturk house with him so she can't escape again, so Suletta intervenes and challenges Gwell to a duel to get him to knock it off. Miorine is the one in Suletta's mobile suit, however, as she sneaks aboard Gundam Ariel to fight Gwell's Delanza. She gets her butt kicked initially since she's a piloting amateur, but Suletta arrives on the scene and takes over, defeating Gwell with total ease. By defeating Gwell, however, she has gained status. She is now the holder, meaning she is now Miorine's fiancé. Harold, they're lesbians.
Everything I love. It's
so the show is just Revolutionary Girl Lieutenant, it seems.
Yeah, it's like Gundam is good.
Gundam is good. This is an incredible first impression. Like, I don't think I've seen a single person complain about this so far. It is absolute chef's kiss, delightful, love it. Tremendous first episode, so good.
Lesbians, let's go.
Let's go. My God, these bitches gay. Good for them. Good for them. So the episode starts out. We see Suletta. She's not Eri anymore. She's Suletta. She grows up. She has a fake name because her and her mom are on the run from the Benneret group.
From Triaz Kushranada. Kushranada.
Right. She opens the window, the blinds in her suit to look out. In the Astacasia School of Technology. It's built in an asteroid. It's really pretty. It's very cool, very striking looking.
5 of those little disc things from like Wing all taped to one asteroid, and it's like really pretty. And also the Lifrith got a bit of a facelift. It's now like in the traditional. It's now in the traditional Gundam colors. It's not like pink and purple anymore. I get it, Suletta. Everybody has that phase where it's like, I'm too cool for pink. I'm like an adult now, and pink is stupid and yucky, and it's for little girls. But like, I get it. You're going through some things, so
Right.
I get it.
I love the Ariel, but like if the Ariel had that pink color scheme Lilith had, oh my god, it would look incredible.
That would be so cool.
It would look incredible. But Ariel's sick. You can tell it's based on the Lilith, but it has like a lot more of this kind of like that red circuitry throughout it. It has a lot of like yellow accents. The head is very cool. I like the double antenna setup where it's like a V fin and then antenna on the sides of the head poking up.
That is amazing.
Very pretty. I like that even the shield has vents because the shield also are made of a bit staves.
Yeah.
So she's looking around, she's looking at the school, and she sees a body floating in space, and she freaks the hell out. And she like busts out. She like breaks the suit's restraints, and like the cargo bay door opens of the shuttle she's in, and she flies out. And like the girl in the suit starts like shaking her head and crossing her arms, being like, "No, don't pick me up, don't pick me up." But like, she does, and
she has like white hair, like gray eyes. Hair can look like a mushroom, but
she does have mushroom hair, yeah.
Bullet.
And Suletta picks her up and like takes her into the cockpit, and this girl immediately just like fucking headbutts Suletta, being like, "I almost escaped. What the hell?" She is so mad. Yeah, it's so funny. And Suletta's just like, sorry. And then we just boom, cut to the school.
And it's amazing. It's like it's just like, it's so huge. It's just like these really long, like open, it's like they have like these cities in the space colonies. And then there's like all of these, like, but I think it's like so many plants, like so many trees, so much green space. And then there's like this bit of area that's still like roped off with the sky screen. Then they have like a screen that has like a projection of a sky over it in the school. And there's like this stretch on one of the little loops that is still like, it's like asteroid that they have done nothing to. And that is where they do like training in the Gundams.
Yeah, it's where it goes down.
Like this little sky arch over it, but
yeah, and it has like I feel technology to like disperse the stray beam fire that hits it. It's a really pretty school. I can't wait to see more of this campus.
It's so amazing.
The main thing that really sticks out to me is we see the Demi, which is like that main grunt suit, the really round looking thing. These things are just walking around campus. This seems horrifically dangerous. Like, you got to imagine people get fucking squished every single day at this school.
Yeah, it's like, I know that, like, petite mobile suits are a thing, and there's, like, people who, like, in the Universal Century, they'll, like, own one as, like, a hobby, like how people own motorcycles. And, in fact, it's actually pretty similar to how, like, people started, for how, like, the motorcycle became widely adopted, because like after World War I, people would be going around, like the soldiers would be riding around on their motorcycles, and that is probably the first place where they ever seen a motorcycle. And then like they took them home after the war, and they just started having them as like a little hobby.
Yeah.
And then it's also like with stuff like people like becoming pirates or joining AU, like they still want some of that structure. They still want to be part of a group, and then that is how you get biker gangs.
Yeah. I want to see like mobile suit gangs in this.
Oh, that was so rad.
Yeah. But Suletta makes it to like, she's looking around, she's in awe. She makes it to like the edge of this kind of like battlefield, and she meets this girl named Nika Nanora, who's a second year mechanics student. She's cool. She has like a black short haircut, but like it's like blue underneath her black hair. Very cool look.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done my hair like that at some point.
It's like a black to blue ombre.
Yeah.
Nika's cool. She's very nice. She's like, hey, come to me if you have any questions. And Suletta immediately just starts like stammering and stuttering and being like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing here. I've never been to a school before.
That was so funny. It's like, what exactly do they have on Mercury? It's like,
She was like homeschooled, I imagine,
oh, like,
or like
it's so
something.
like awkward. I love her. Like, hell yeah,
She's
it's time
so
for
good.
Pearl Autumn.
Yeah, exactly. She has no idea what she's doing. She's completely out of her depth. And like a bunch of like other girls show up to her and like start asking her like, "Oh, you're from Mercury. Like, what'd you come here? What are you studying?" And she's just like kind of like squats down and is like very sheepishly like, "Oh, my mom told me to go here."
And it's like I get it. Like making friends and going somewhere new, it can be very overwhelming. But
Yeah, it's her first day of school.
yeah, first day of school ever, and she's like 16.
Yeah. And then Miorine shows up. We learn her name is Miorine Rembrandt, daughter of Delling Rembrandt, the asshole from the prologue. And Miorine sees her and she's like, You foiled my escape. And Suletta's like, I'll help you escape again. And everyone's like kind of like wondering like, what the hell are you talking about? And she's like, don't say it out loud. But they kind of excuse me, they kind of get interrupted before they can argue more by this alarm sounds, and the skybox changes to like just kind of like this like nightscape almost, and we see this on this big screen. It's a duel happening, a duel between
Duel.
duel, a duel
I
between
like
Guel Jeturk and Parker Eastcott. He doesn't matter. Who cares about Parker? Guel is in his Delanza and Parker is in a suit called the Capel Coup. Doesn't matter. Guel's Delanza is the coolest thing I've seen in my life.
It's a chunky boy.
It is.
Conquer.
They say it's red. It's pink. It's not red. It's like a.
It's like magenta.
Yeah.
Chunky boy.
I love this. It's like a giant beetle. It even has a huge ass feather. Oh, it's so cool.
And it's like an actual feather. Like, where did they even get ostriches that big?
Yeah, they grow them different in space. But they duel. It's a pretty short duel. Like, Guel is able to just, like, he has, like, a really sick beam halberd.
Parker.
Yeah, poor Parker. And, like, Miorine has to grab Suletta and, like, pull her out of the way of the suits. They come, like, crashing down where she was standing. But Guel triumphantly steps out of his Delanza and is like laughing maniacally. Is like he sees Miorine and he's like being all high and mighty. And he's like, people are making fun of me for having a runaway bride, so I had to teach him a lesson. And Miorine just like huffs. She's like mad as hell. She just walks off. She doesn't want to be anywhere near this fool right now.
Yeah,
I don't blame her.
Guel Jeturk, more Guel Jeturk. More like Guel Jet Jerk, am I right?
Get his ass. It's a shame that this is my favorite middle suit because Guel's kind of a total dickhead right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on. Like, you do not deserve the Chibity hair. Like, come on.
Really? He has that cool, like, pink highlight in the front of his hair.
Yeah.
It's like a weird, like, it's like a Chibity mullet, basically.
It's like Chibity mullet, but also if he didn't like take the time in the morning to go and put like the product in to get it into like all of those little Yu-Gi-Oh, all of those little
yeah.
spikes.
Exactly. So we come from there. Miorine travels to like some greenhouse in like again a really beautiful forested area.
It's cool. Like she has so many plants. It's like I actually have a ton of plants. Like good for her, and also I'm really glad that I finally have Gundam Plant Mom rep who isn't Rekawa.
Yeah, honestly, not hard to find a worse role model than Rekawa.
Yeah.
But like she's growing all these plants. Like we learn that she grows tomatoes because it was a breed her mother created. But like Suletta shows up trying to apologize. And she asks about, she's like, hey, what's this deal about the fiance? And Miorine explains that at this school, students settle everything via duels. And the winner of those duels becomes the holder, who is like essentially Miorine's fiance because she's the daughter of the guy who runs the school, essentially.
Of Transkush Renata.
Right. And we like cut to see him. and he's definitely older. You know, it's like 12-ish years after that prologue.
Yeah,
And
he
we
looks like
see,
he looks like it's been at least like 30. Like he
yeah, he has not aged gracefully.
like he kind like he still has like the we get it. We get it. You wanna one up the other guy. He still has the three eyebrows. But now like he's like all gray and he kinda looks like a combination of Triez and that other guy from that other Okochi. I need hold on, I need to look up the pronunciation. He looks like the other jerk dad from that other Okochi show. Okochi show. Yeah, he kind of looks like a combination of Trieste Kushranada and Lelouch's dad.
Okay, yeah, all right, I can see it a little bit.
Except he has less stupid hair, but he still has
Right.
extra eyebrows, and it's like, dude, like.
He also has a very long soul patch goatee looking thing that like sticks out like 2 inches. Looks like a pharaoh almost. The kind of like decorative chin piece.
I wonder. It's like it's the dumbest looking beard. It's like there's a reason why people don't grow those in real life.
Yeah. He's also like a quadrillionaire, so no one's gonna dare say he has shitty facial hair, I guess.
Yeah.
But we see his whole Bennett group. And we see like the 3 highest earning companies. There is the Jeturk Heavy Machinery, run by Guel's dad. The Pale Company, which is like these 4 weird clone-looking people with like
these
straight,
4 old women wear it with like that thing that Cardo had on her ears.
right, and like strangely pursed lips. They look like they have some kind of like prosthetic. And Grassley, the Grassley company, I don't know the exact company names, but Grassley is like, we saw Grassley in the prologue as well. He was never named, but he was there. And then we see Rembrandt's business acumen, where he basically like cuts off one of the companies of the Bennett group for like posting a loss 3 quarters in a row, and just no room for people who don't bring in profit. So, cutthroat business.
They said that there was like, we actually have like a chance we could improve. And then it's like, nope, sorry, bye.
You're out of here. Bye, honey. Yeah, he just kicks him out.
Bitch. Bye.
And like, he just doesn't even care about Miorine. Like, his assistant asks, like, hey, do you want to hear about the security detail that we chose for your daughter? And he's like, why would I care? So this guy sucks. And we cut back to the greenhouse after that little like cutaway of Suletta's like watching Miorine look at seeds and tomatoes, and she's like, what the fuck is that thing? And Miorine's like, it's a tomato. And Suletta's like, I've had tomato flavoring before, not a real one. And then her tummy gurgles, so Miorine gives it to her, and Suletta bites into a tomato, and she's just like, it's childlike wonder. She's like, wow.
We finally have a Gundam character eating a tomato like it's an actual apple, and nobody will argue about whether or not it's a tomato.
It rules. Yeah, the beef has been squashed. It's settled. We know it.
Yes, Gundam characters eat tomatoes like they're apples. Also, when I was watching this with a bunch of my other friends in a different Discord, I accidentally made a typo and I called it a tomino, so she's eating a tomino.
She's eating a Yoshiyuki tomato.
She's eating him.
Thank you, eating him.
I knew that there was like something that he did that involved cannibalism, but I was not expecting that to show up again here.
Yeah, God. So she eats the tomato. It's really yummy, and this is when, she like exposits her mom is no longer with us. It's a breed that her mom made, and Suletta talks about how her mom made something special too, referring to Ariel.
Oh my God! Wait. Also, the anime mom lived.
Yeah, that's right. Like, because her mom is alive. We know from like a little bit of backstory, but yeah, no, her anime mom is alive. Surprisingly.
Yeah, I guess.
Damn, Gundam breaking boundaries.
Like the ponytail, but like Suletta has the ponytail, so like.
Hope she doesn't die.
Yeah. That would be bad.
But yeah, Miorine gets kind of mad about. She thinks Suletta's like bragging about how her mom's not dead, but before that progresses, Guel shows up to be an asshole, and he's like, hey,
A real jerk.
yeah, he's like, hey, you got to live with me at Jaturk House now because we don't want you running around everywhere. And Guel and Miorine responds something like, oh, you
If
know,
no,
now you care about, yeah.
no, you stink. Never going to happen. Nick, nada, no, no. My name is no. My sign is no. My number is no. Get your
She calls him
my hip.
Daddy's little lapdog at one point.
Stop your staring at my head. Take a fucking hint.
she what does she say? She's like, she calls him Daddy's little lapdog, which makes him just like get really mad. He starts wrecking shit. He's like throwing planters off the walls and smashing tomatoes.
What a fuck boy.
Yeah, this guy sucks. And Suletta starts freaking out, and like she sees that no one's doing anything about it. So she does the only thing she can do, and just fucking slap him hard as she can on the ass.
I've never seen somebody slap somebody on a butt. They've never done
it's like
before.
Not in Gundam. That's right. We have the bright slap is old news. It's all about the Suletta spank now.
And then like she is like on guard, fuck boy.
Yeah. Like oh, she is ready.
Like this time to go to Pound Town. Like your ass is grass. Like
yeah.
No.
But like, not Grassly because it's a different company. But she's like timid. She's like, oh God, what did I do? And basically this whole exchange ends with her challenging him to a duel. I guess more for like Miorine's honor than anything else, and just like to put him in his place. Like she's not dueling knowing that she's going to become Miorine's fiance afterwards. She's doing it because she just wants to like, she needs to teach Guel a lesson. Yeah, but the conditions are if she loses, she has to leave the school. And this is the first episode, so I'm like, okay, so she's going to win somehow. So we cut to we're getting ready for the duel, and the Delanza is like put in this box and is like transported to the battlefield. We learn in the meanwhile that Guel's dad has set a charge, like an explosive charge, on Delling's craft. Delling Rembrandt. I don't even know if I've said his full name. He's the evil, he's the shitty Trace Kuchernata.
Charles Z whatever, like you're not original, dude.
Yeah. And it's set to go off in 10 minutes, and basically his goal is if he can kill Delling like while Guel is Miorine's suitor, basically like that will lock his status in because Delling won't be around to approve like the duel system being changed so that it's not the winner of the duel becomes the new suitor. So basically he's trying to kill him while Guel is there to lock his place in. So we're on a quick time limit here. So we cut to the battlefield. The Delanza pops out. The Ariel's walking towards it. They're like, we see a bunch of different students watching this, and like in the background, one of them, there's a Haro. There's Haros in this show, by the way. They're like in pods.
One on top. Like back when like Suletta was entering the school, there was one on top, like this little like R2D2 body, and oh my God, it is so cute.
I love it. It's really silly.
Boy, I love you.
It's so, and it even says I am a Haro on the front of it. It's really cute. But there's a Haro explaining to one of the students about like the Gundam's colors, and it's like, oh, the Gundam tricolor, reminiscent of the French flag. I'm like, what are you getting your facts from, dude?
French flag is not yellow.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the tricolor, red, white, and blue. But like when people talk about the Gundam tricolor, they always talk about red, yellow, and blue.
Yeah, it's like, bruh, like, hold on, let me look something.
It's like the Columbia flag is the Gundam tricolor.
The Columbia flag. Like, you're thinking of the Columbia flag. Like,
yeah. The French of South America. Definitely not French Guiana.
No.
But we see the parties consent to begin the duel. We learn that the winner of the duel is whoever breaks the opponent's horn antenna. And we see it is not Suletta in the Ariel, but rather it's Miorine who's like resolved to, she's like, I'm going to duel myself. Like, I'm tired of people settling things for me. I'm getting down to business.
Yeah, like Like, as if.
That's the thing, right? She's we learned very clearly she's not good at this. She is not a mobile suit pilot. She's like, I think someone calls her like the princesses of business. Like she's better at like the non-mobile suits part of this school. But as they begin the duel, they say this line that they say in unison that I think is going to be like the line that's said before every duel, which is victory is never decided through mobile suit performance alone, nor by the skill of the pilot alone. The result is the only truth. And that's what starts the duel off. But like,
oh yeah, wait. There's also like that other guy. Those other two guys.
So Guel has a brother who's like I don't even know if we got his name, but there's this blonde guy named Shadiq Zanelli,
and
who is like
blonde, has his shirt open, and then there's also like this little Genshin Impact boy.
I call him Ignatz from Fire Emblem Three Houses, but again, very similar. He's like very light green hair and like an ascot, I think, and he's like you can tell he's a bookish little boy.
He's like a fancy lad, but like in a different way than like. But
right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Shadiq and that kid are like they're part of the dueling committee. I think Guel's also on the dueling committee, but basically it's like this weird nightmare student council situation where like they're the ones in charge of all this shit. There's no oversight of this school. It cracks me up. I love it.
Like, well, Genshin guy is reading his book. Like I think his name is like Elan, not Elon. Elan.
Uh-huh.
And he's like reading this book before like the duel starts, and he's like going through, and it's like, wait a minute, that's a Gundam.
Yeah, like I think
this.
I think it happens near the end, like after Suletta activates it. But like they begin the duel, and Miorine just immediately like she fires the beam rifle and it knocks her backwards, and like she fires the beam Vulcans, and nothing's hitting, and like Guel just like totally knocks her down, and he tells her, "You're nothing but a trophy." And this is when another alert happens, and we see someone riding like a fucking Haro hover bike, and Haro's like, "Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down! You're exceeding the speed limit."
This is so cute.
And the credentials say it's Nika, but no, it's Suletta, who's used the same trick that Miorine has to take over the Gundam.
Took her stuff, like Miorine like put something on like Suletta's iPad. Like she's still an iPad, like apparently she's still an iPad baby.
Right. And like we learned that like Nika helped her out the same way Miorine kind of like took over Suletta's thing, and someone's like, "Hey Nika, why does that say you out there?" And she's like, "Oh, I guess I just helped her out a little bit." But like Suletta rolls up and she like opens up the hatch, and in a fun twist, she's the one who completely fucking headbutts Miorine, saying like, "Ariel is my family, only I get to pilot it.
This is my like it is made for me."
It literally is made for her.
This is my Gundam. It is made for me.
This is my little sister Ariel, like the Little Mermaid. So the duel like re-begins, and they confirm.
And now it's like time. Like, let's get this fucking show on the road. It is time to duel. Now
we see that Guel has like a 27-0 record, like undefeated. Suletta has no record at all. But she talks to Miorine as she's like standing up. She says, "You gain one by not," or if you run, you gain one, but if you move forward, you gain two. And she basically explains, it's something that her mother told her. You gain one by not losing when you run, but if you fight, you gain both experience and pride, not to mention trust. And this is when the sickest shit I've ever seen happens, where, oh my god.
Hell yes.
The bit staves all fly out of the Ariel. It forms a shield that just completely deflects Guel's shots. And she is just standing perfectly still, doing nothing. And then, like, the bit staves align, and, like, you see this shock on Guel's face. They fire, and just all of the limbs on the Delons are just cut apart instantly. This is when oh man, this is when Elan is like, Gundam. That's when he realized it's a Gundam, and Suletta just like pulls out the beam. It's a Gundam, and so this is when Suletta pulls out the beam saber and just cuts the Delons' horn off. And like as she does that, the feather
Oh, yeah,
the
baby.
feather explodes and like light shines through the clouds and like you have fucking white angelic feathers falling from the sky. It is so funny. It's hysterical.
And
Uh
they get out, and then it's like, oh my god, I won. And she gets out of the area with Miorina.
mhm.
I pronounced that right?
Yeah, Miorina, Miorine, Miorine, any of those is right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They get out of
Uh
the cockpit together, and then in the palm of like the Ariel's hand,
uh-huh.
then like reaches out and she pushes this button on Suletta's little spacesuit thing, and suddenly like the logo that looks suspiciously like the Titans logo changes and stuff starts glowing gold all over the place, and yeah,
Uh-huh.
like something very special just happened.
Yeah. Before that, we do get like a really quick cutaway to Gwel's dad, who basically calls the bomb off when he learns that, oh yeah, by the way, another duel happened, and Gwel's no longer Mirine's fiance. So if you kill Delling now, things will be really shitty. So that's no longer an issue. But then, yeah, Mirine changes Suletta's color, and she's like, all right, cool, you're the holder now. And Mirine's like, oh, cool, what does that mean? And she's like, we're engaged. And and Suletta's like, huh? That's allowed?
What? What?
It's she, oh, it's so choice.
I guess people are more conservative on Mercury.
That's such a fucking funny line that she says. Like, it cracked me up.
Let's
Let's go
go,
lesbians.
lesbians. Let's go.
She just says, "Nice to meet you, my groom," and then the show ends. Oh, mwah. Delightful first episode. We also hear we also see like the opening over the closing this time, but like it's the opening. It kicks ass. I love it. It's so energetic. It's called "The Blessing" by Yoasobi. Cool cinema, like
And
what's the
like
term I'm looking for?
oh,
Cinematics, I guess. Yeah,
cinnamon topography.
it's the cinnamon topography of it all. It's like almost like crayon 3D. I really like it.
I love.
And I guess we haven't heard the ending yet because that's the opening that they played over the ending.
Yeah.
Unless the ending's the same as the opening, who could say? But
Who
yeah,
knows?
it is. It is
I
just
haven't
such.
Who knows these days? I haven't. Who knows these days? I haven't watched any anime more recent than like 2015.
Yeah, like the last show I can think of that did that was like Demon Slayer. I think the ending is the same as
Yeah,
the opening, just a different part of the song.
yeah, I haven't seen
But
Slayer.
highly recommend it. Good show. But yeah, that's this episode. It says next week. The next episode is going to be called, I think, "The Curse of the Gundam" or something like that, or like
Oh,
the Cursed Mobile Suit.
that's wild.
Yeah, so already can't wait for that. Oof, pretty. Yeah, Cursed Mobile Suit is what the episode's called. So pretty good start to the
Yeah.
series, I'd say.
Really strong, coming on very strong. I guess Gundam is starting out good right now.
Yeah, I'm
Like
eager to
right
see
out
more.
the gate.
Right out the damn gate. I will say, so there is one thing I found that's kind of like a little bit of information the show does not tell us. But essentially there was a little like mini novel written to show to Yoasobi, who made the opening, so they could kind of like bridge the gap between the prologue and episode 1. And all it really says is that the Gundam Ariel almost does have like a mind of its own. It is an AI inside that. And, you know, Suletta and her mother went to Mercury. And literally, the reason why Suletta is at the school is because her mother sent her there so that she would become the holder, because she was always intended to become Murine's fiance, so that her mother can basically, like, kill Delling and, like, bring prosperity to Mercury and get revenge.
That slaps. Like, that
It is such a... Oh, the setup! The setup is so good!
Yeah, it's like, I mean, take your pick. You have Char, Lelouch, like, take your anything goes now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is just a truly exciting first episode. I cannot wait to see more. That's kind of it for us. As you can tell, my voice is nearly gone again. So, as we're closing, Phoenix, where can we find you on the internet?
Right now, I don't really have anything big and impressive going on. Like I'm on Tumblr at Destroy Scythe. Heck. I'm on Twitter at Full Fringle. Rhymes with Pringle, like full frontal, but it rhymes with Pringle. So that's where I am. I don't really have anything impressive going on. I'm not really on any other podcast. But who knows? Maybe like over October, I'll like build up my little portfolio. Maybe like I'll start taking commissions or something, or I'll end up maybe trying to revive my other project that's been asleep since 2019.
Hell yeah. Only time will tell. As for me, you can go to Twitter at MaxiBajillion. You can go to Slappers Only Pod on Twitter to listen to Slappers Only. You can go to Pod of Greed on Twitter. Sorry, Pod of Greed Cast on Twitter to listen to Pod of Greed, my Yu-Gi-Oh show. You can go to noisepace.xyz to find this show. Go to twitter.com at WowCoolPodcast also to find this show. Join our Discord. Come hang out with us. See you in 2 weeks. Well, you'll see me in 1 week for Build, and then me and Phoenix will be back in 2 weeks for episodes 2 and 3 of G-Witch. And finally, Phoenix, what is your robot of the week?
So far, I would have to say, I know I just spent like 5 minutes gushing about how cool I think the Gurren from Code Geass is, but I guess that one will probably have to take an honorary position. That one will have to take an honorary position because, of course, I have to go just for tradition's sake. Bender from Futurama.
All right, my eternal torment will never end. War is bad.
Wow, cool robot. Let's go, lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians!